There was a tweet that went out a few days ago from Mister Crimson, a few days ago as in January the 29th, so that is a solid, 3 days ago. This was his suggestions for what system changes he would like to see for Season 2. So I wanted to go over them and give you my point of view on them, because some of them he's cooking. Even if they did, it would require them to change how the whole system worked. And I don't know how I feel about that. Before I get into my thoughts, some of the things that he's asking for is how the game works, like that they would have to change how the system mechanics work. And I'll give you an example. Drive rush, punish, counter state. That's just how the game works. We'll get to why that doesn't make sense. Let's go to the first one. Can't perfect parry on 3 of the first wake up frames. Are you crazy? Are you absolutely crazy? In fighting games, a lot of times safe jumps are available. And I find that with safe jumps, especially in this game, one of the beautiful things about this game is that there is an answer for almost everything as long as you have drive gauge. What I mean to say about that, if there's oppressive offense, you have drive reversal. Usually characters have invincible reversals. I mean, he plays Dulcim, so, you know, he doesn't. But I do think that's fair because that's the archetype. You know, if you get to have all that strength from far away, you don't get to be strong up close. One thing that is important in this game is that characters do have safe jumps, but it's like, it's more than just that. It's the fact that you get the safe jump, the opponent can answer it with a parry, and that's fine, right? And it's actually not a hard thing to do. It's actually like a good way to take away the value of a safe jump. There's still strength in the safe jump, but it's just the defender gets to have an answer. One of the views that I have in this game is that no one likes this game at all when they're on defense. Everybody thinks this game is really fun and so expressionist and creative, and you get to have all of these options and all these high moments when you're on offense. People don't like the fact that they can use a frame trap and a person has to call out the frame trap, but they get a perfect parry and now you're in the corner. And I understand that stinks. That's the game. So if you want to lock out perfect parry out of the first 3 frames of wake up, I'll be honest, one, you are going to have a really hard time against safe jumps. Like a really hard time. And most characters do have safe jumps in this game. Now, he doesn't say that you can't parry. Perfect parry is just not available for the first 3 frames. You don't get to have unlimited offensive pressure in this game. You have to work around that. If people actually punished with parries, maybe we wouldn't have this point of view on it. Drive rush, punish, counter state. Okay, so what they're saying when it comes to this, if I interrupt their drive rush, I should get more of a benefit. But there's a reason why that wouldn't work. And it's actually just how the game is coded. Of course, that wouldn't give you a punish counter. That's just not how the game is. And what I mean by not how the game is, what I mean to say by that is that in this game, if you stuff a person on startup, that's a counter hit. If you punish a person, that's a punish counter. So if you look here, you have the parry and then the startup of drive rush. And this is the whole dash. This is startup. So obviously you wouldn't get a punish counter because you don't get punish counters on startup. You would get it on the back end here. That's when you would get it. Like, I understand what he's saying. You should get more of a reward for stuffing a drive rush. The reward is the knockdown. That's what you get. You don't always get to have reward for making the right choice. Your reward is the knockdown and Oki. But that fundamentally wouldn't work because that's just not how the game works. There's a logic to this, and it would have to change the rules of how punish counters work. Like, absolutely not. Scaling on a throw tech punish. I'm assuming this is to take away the value of with punishing a throw. I feel that these things here are taking away like what this game is about. And what this game is about, what people don't want to say, it's about throws. That is the crux of this game. It's throws and getting your opponent to whiff a throw. That's what the game is. If you don't want to get punished on a throw tech, don't get shimmied. I don't know what to tell you. A better option would be to decrease the advantage after a successful throw. That way you don't get caught in the throw loop. But I feel like if I make a person like whiff a throw, I should be able to get that. Especially since like there is a really, really nice interaction with the drive gauge and an opponent's offense and defensive option. Throws are incentivized because parry is incentivized. Because parries are strong in this game, like you have to throw. But with that being said, if you miss your throw, well, then you're punishable. Drive reversal on hit, removing one opponent's drive bar. This whole thing is to take away drive gauge. And I think that the drive gauge is like perfectly set. All the costs and such, I have no problem with it. I'm one of those people that don't want to see Drive Rush go to 3 bars or 2 bars. I think it's fine at 1 bar. And technically, it's not even 1 bar. It's technically half a bar. You have your parry that costs half, and then the Drive Rush costs the other half. If anything, I want to see Drive Reversal actually like be a bit quicker, so it'll catch more things. Like, I think this is incredibly strong, and I think that Drive Reversal should be more of an option. But the defender has to commit very early to actually stop that with a Drive Reversal. The reason why I'm not sure about it is the more I think about it, if they Drive Reversal and I block it, I get to take more drive gauge off of them. So like, the risk reward is kind of in the favor of the attacker. Example, if I do this and I block it, my next attack actually turns to a punish counter. That's crazy, actually. Technically, I can probably burn them out if I parry 1 Drive Reversal. Hold on a second. I never thought about that. Yeah, he's burnt here. I've never thought about that. That actually is a lot of drive gauge gone off of that. You know, I don't agree with this. Something about this doesn't feel right, but I'll let it cook, right? If they added this, I wouldn't be so upset. This would suck for Jury though, because Feng Shui Engine, they tend to use a lot of drive reversal, but most of the time we don't perfect parry a drive reversal either. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. Super meter gains slower. So the reason why I don't like this one is that the reason why super meter gains slower is not a good idea is specifically because sometimes your defense against burnout is legitimately your super art one. Like legitimately, like that's your only option. If you're burnt out, you have to look to your super gauge to defend yourself. And the reason why you gain your super gauge so quickly is so that if you burn out quick, at least you have something to defend yourself against. Most definitely. Most of the time you're burnt out, you usually have at least 1 super bar available. I do think it's annoying when you look at characters like Rashid, Jury, Blanca, JP, like level 2s that are just annoying to deal with. Absolutely. It feels like you like always have to deal with it, but that's the benefit of giving up your level 3. In my point of view, I rather have 2 level 2s than having 1 level 3. That's just me though. I love Feng Shui Engine, so if it means I get to use it more, absolutely. But how about this? The art of the deal. I will give you this if I can earn super gauge while under Feng Shui Engine. If you want to do that, I got no problem, because I don't earn gauge while I'm under Feng Shui Engine. So that means that my super gauge, 1, will be slower to build, and 2, once I get it, I'm locked out of earning meter while I'm in that. If you're okay with that, that's the deal that I'm saying. Let's drive chip by normals on block. No. The reason why is because parry is how you defend yourself in this game, but parry comes with a risk. You're supposed to like protect your gauge by using parry. Even if it's just the like if there's 3 attacks, even just getting that 1 attack parried, it helps out so much. Like the whole point is that your drive gauge is legitimately what you protect the most in this game. Sometimes even more than your health. There are times when like I'll like have full health and I'll have like no gauge left. I'm like, yo, just get hit, B. Like, I'd rather just get hit. That way, like, they knock me down. Like, I'll get my drive gauge back. And at least I have something, right? Something to defend myself with. Like, you have to protect this by any means. Let's chip on normals. Like, you're supposed to use parry. But again, I think he's trying to take value away from parry and putting it into just blocking. And I don't think that's what they want of this game. Like, I legitimately think that Capcom wants you to always use your drive gauge for everything. And they want decisions to be made all the time. You have to decide when to protect your gauge, when to use your parry. You have to decide when to use a drive rush, drive reversal. You have to decide when to use DI, how to defend against DI. You know, everything is a decision. Everything that happens is making a decision. And blocking is skillful, but at the same time, since this game forces you to make decision, blocking a lot is indecision. And again, they want you to make a decision so that people open themselves up. With that being said, though, it's frustrating to always have to make that decision, because if you make the wrong choice, you lose health and you're in a bad situation. Again, it comes back to this whole thing of this game is great when I'm on offense. This game sucks when I'm on defense. because having to block and taking away chip forces your opponent to make a decision. And then if they make the wrong one, well, you get to punish them. But again, I think that's what he's trying to go for, is less of this like constant action. You know what I mean? This like activeness. Even when you defend, you have to be active. And I personally don't have a problem with being active, especially in defense. The damage might be high because of like the punish on like throw whiffs. You always have super meter available, but like at the same time, less chip on normals means that people will have more gauge. If they have more gauge, that means they'll be able to like do bigger combos. So on one hand, you have this drive reversal on hit removes one drive bar, which is like fine. But then you're saying, yeah, but also I want people that still like not lose as much like drive gauge on block. I get it. Like these two things could both be doing opposing things, but they're there for a reason. I don't know. Like I know this sounds like weird to say, but a lot of these things sounds like Dawson problems. I just think that people really enjoy this game when they're on offense. When they're on defense, they hate it. But it's always been my point of view that I have no problem with trying any of these changes out. But since Capcom doesn't update their game for a whole year, it's like, I got no problem trying this out for 3 months, right? And seeing how this feels. We might try it and like everyone might go, yeah, this sucks, right? This sucks as a change. We don't want it. Or we like try, you know, drive rush, you get the punish, can counter state, cool, drive reversal, you remove a bar, right? We could try those two and see how it feels. And then in 3 months, we might go, you know what? This feels fine. This was annoying to deal with because everyone started drive reversaling. I got no problem with trying any of these things. I think all of these things at once is very, very wild. You can't look at a game and like holistically with this many changes to this system, especially since we don't get frequent updates. Yearly patches is insanity. But for some reason, like they don't want to change the game in a big way for 1 year. And I just think that's like just bad. And the reason why I don't think waiting the first year to change things is because we're already down like 60% in the player base. Everyone's already left and not coming back. Like this first year, in my point of view, is when they should have been doing it.